Did it come like that?
Leave me alone.
Did it come like that?
No, we bought them separately.
You bought the mason jar and then put a shaker cup lid on top of this. What is this?
My mom.
Are you making moonshine? Are you making moonshine at home? What is that?
So my mom decided that she wanted to try and, my mom's always cooking.
Yeah.
She decided she wanted to try and sell stuff. So what she was doing, she was taking pickles and soaking them in Kool-Aid.
What?
And using, I know, bro. Trust me, it was on TikTok and YouTube forever how long ago.
Disgusting.
People will take a pickle and they'll put the dry Kool-Aid powder on it and then they eat it.
Oh, yeah. I've seen people.
So then what my mom started doing, and people at our church and a few other people were going nuts, she would soak them in the Kool-Aid juice so that way the pickle would absorb the juice. And then
Pickles will absorb anything. Yeah,
so
at that point.
Once she finally stopped that disgusting ass
habit of hers
venture, she had like 50 mason jars, and I was like, I felt like my cups were too small. I got these big hands.
It doesn't leak out?
It leaks a little bit, but only if you're like whatever with it. Like if I hold it upside down, it's gonna leak. It's a mason jar.
It just took me a minute for my brain to process. It's like you're trying to put two pieces that aren't supposed to connect together.
It works enough.
Like a Lego block and a
because if you think about it, like if you go to leave and you're like, shit, I have this cup full of liquid here.
So you you had water. You didn't want to just put it away, so you put it.
I didn't want to waste a water bottle. I'm being.
I wish you guys
eco-friendly.
could see this.
They've seen a mason jar.
I thought that was a sippy cup for a second, and then I saw the protein shaker lid on the top.
I don't want to use a bunch of plastic water bottles because that's killing the environment.
You seen that commercial for Kachava?
So what? What is Kachava?
it's called Kachava. It's when you want to be your healthiest, but also eco-friendly. It's like food powder. That you mix.
Kind of.
I feel like you should be drinking Kachava out of that.
I want to make it so that I'm not only getting what I need, which is my water, because it's 100 some odd degrees.
I'll make sure you get all your minerals when you leave. I'll get some dirt and put it in there for you.
All right. You leave me alone.
Oh my god, that's funny to look at. Okay, I'm sorry.
Thing. You leave
I'm
me
sorry.
alone.
You enjoy your Kachava moonshine. This is Lynn.
We're Project Airwaves.
Hello.
As soon as this butthole gets off my ass.
It's so ghetto.
We'll talk about something. It's not ghetto.
It's ghetto.
You're drinking out of a jug.
Yes.
That had juice in it previously.
I don't think this did.
Oh no, it's Pure Life.
It's Pure Life. They changed their logo.
Yeah.
It's not that clear anymore. When I saw this, I thought that
was like a Sunny D bottle.
I thought it was like a child's bottle, and I went to Walmart and I saw it, and I was like, why does a Pure Life thing look like?
That's weird.
Well, because Pure Life used to be owned by
Nestle.
Yeah, and
now they get bought out.
They got bought out by somebody else now. It's not Nestle anymore.
Nestle, they own like everything.
No, yeah, Nestle doesn't own this anymore. Which that's Walmart's.
That's weird. Yeah, that's like their knockoff brand.
Their Kroger
for
brand.
Everything.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not.
It's weird.
Nestle anymore.
That's weird.
Anyways,
we're rambling.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's our first topic?
Oh yeah. Movies. I saw a movie last night that you have no interest in because you didn't even see it.
Yeah, tell me about it.
The movie was hot trash. Anyways. It wasn't hot trash, but
tell me about it.
Jurassic Park Dominion.
Are you sure?
Digimon.
Are you sure?
They had a giga. They had a giga. I almost said something else.
They
had a Giga Nana Tyrannosaurus Rex.
I think you made that up.
When I heard Giga and Nana, I was thinking like, okay, so they have a giant mother T-Rex. The way that they said the name, it was like Giga Abuela or Giga Nana.
Giga Abuela.
Yeah.
Now you have a Giga Abuelo. It's a good around the corner.
Yeah. What was I telling you they were calling Brawly?
What?
Yeah. I wasn't gonna say that, but yeah, the that. Giga Guy 9000. You can't. Yeah. No, I'm not gonna say that. But you know what? I was watching. There's a podcast that I watched called, what was it, Louder with Chowder or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
These guys, they'll go over a lot of stuff, but most of it's like all leftist and right wing, like how the economy's built around just, what is that called? Politics and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They were making jokes about it, and they do movie reviews to see if the movies, you could tell it was so forced. And what they were saying is that this movie was made to dish out, not to be made for the states to watch.
Mm-hmm.
It's what can we do to make money in different countries?
Right.
So let's build this up because it looks good on paper, and let's send the money out over there. So they kind of just shot it down the line, and it was depressing because I like Chris Pratt and I like him in his movies, and there's a really good scene. Spoiler alert.
You can tell when he's having fun just from the trailers. He didn't look like he was having fun.
Even when he was talking to people, like there's a girl that's supposed to be his daughter. He's like, "Oh, my daughter, she needs to be saved." And it's just like no facial expression.
Yeah.
But there's a cool part where they're being chased by like these like roided out velociraptors that were made just to kill.
Oh yeah.
Not to hunt.
Yeah.
And they're like parkouring and jumping through buildings, and these things are just tanks. Anywhere this lady points a laser on them, the raptors have to destroy it.
Oh, nice.
So they're moving around and they're super aggressive, but people are making jokes like there's parts where this character is being chased by the raptors, and she gets like a good like 70 to 80 yards away. And it's like you can't physically outrun a velociraptor. We know it's fake, but it's like there'd be parts where this girl would make a jump that was just super crazy, and the raptor would barely make it.
No.
If a raptor is running, if a dog is running, it's going to outrun you at a certain point. And it's like to show that a raptor can't run almost 100 miles an hour.
First of all, yeah, a raptor would eat you in a heartbeat. I mean, I just watched, well, not just watched, but we watched Alvin and the Chipmunks. Why do I keep going back?
It's not Alvin and the Chipmunks.
We watched Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers.
See, I didn't know that it was already out.
First of all, long and short of it,
so how did what is it? Old Sonic or
Ugly Sonic?
The Ugly Sonic with the teeth.
My thing is, so with the Ugly Sonic.
Sorry, there was a. Have you been watching Jack and watching Corey? No, because it's the most Jacksepticeye. His most recent post.
No,
his videos he's watching he's doing like the Until Dawn. It's their new game called Corey. Corey, yeah. Never mind. Corey, yeah. Corey. Is that some cool whip? Sorry. Go ahead and continue. I'm getting sidetracked here.
Whip. No, it's just the live action, the whole animation, live action, 3D, blah blah blah. It was too real. It was too meta. And then they had this whole thing where Seth Rogen was playing 3 characters simultaneously.
Pumbaa from Timon.
He was Pumbaa from Timon and Pumbaa, some character from Beowulf, and then another character. And they got into it at one point. And it's like, dude, I'm tired of seeing the same old thing recycled. It's like, oh, Monty has a drug addiction or something. The other girl.
They showed like Peter Pan, and Peter Pan was like,
yeah, he's like grown up and like some mafia boss dude. And it's like it would have been kind of cool. My thing is, leave it all CGI. And only have a few. So like Sonic, did you see the Sonic 2 movie with Knuckles?
Yeah.
Okay, so just like how we discussed, you should have made the whole thing CGI.
Yeah.
That's how they should have done with Chip and Dale. Made the whole thing CGI, have a few real people walking around, and that's it. Because it was so weird. It felt like they were trying to force, like with Ugly Sonic. It was cool when you saw him at the convention, but then he was part of the FBI. Shows up again at the end of the movie. And he's like, Ugly Sonic's here. It's like, dude, yes, we know. Okay, it was a good meme. Let it go, guys. And they just kept pushing it and pushing it.
My thing is when it comes to how movies are being created right now, because there's a bunch of movies that come out that are relatively good. It's either a brand new movie that I've never seen.
Right.
And is it something that I'm interested in, or they do remakes.
Yes.
They remade Jurassic Park. They remade Chip 'n Dale's.
Garbage.
They remade Sonic. They've remade...
Well, they fixed it, thankfully.
So, but then the remade sometimes has pros and cons, like Batman. Like this is the new Batman. I know you haven't seen it yet, but it's good.
Just in case you haven't, check out our TikTok. We made a video with that.
Oh, yeah. There's something in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good. But, the new Batman, that being remade, looked really, really good. I'm supposed to go with my dad and my brother on Saturday to go see the Northman.
The Norseman?
Norseman.
I've heard that's really good.
It looked really good. I wanted to see it, but in between the time that was out, Doctor Strange was out, and something else out. And I can only go to a movie so many fucking times, and it's like, okay, I waited, and then I found out that they wanted to go see this. So I feel like if you had to choose, would you rather have a new movie coming out in this time frame, or would you rather have something remastered? If you wanted something remastered, what would it be?
I want something new, first and foremost, because all the remakes coming out, they're of perfectly good standalones that were fine by themselves.
Yes.
It's not like you're remaking something that was shit and you're making it good. You're remaking something that was good and you're turning it to shit. So like a lot of the Disney movies, how they're doing a lot of live action remakes of their old movies, they're not capturing the magic. The magic is gone. So long and short of it, I'm looking forward to a lot of movies coming out. However, with the movies we've seen previously, I would say, COVID and beyond, or behind.
You can tell the budget's
been a little disappointing.
The budget's coming very low.
I have faith that we can eventually come back from this, but we'll have to see what happens.
So do you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man.
I don't even know why I started off like that.
Do you know the Muffin Man?
I was going to ask you
lives on Drury Lane?
to tell me that I was right again about what I talked about that last time when we were talking about that thing.
Did you get that thing I sent you?
Did you get that thing I sent you?
Speaking of that thing I sent you.
Don't do that.
Did you happen to know that I hate all the stupid shootings that have been going on lately?
Well, I mentioned it before, and I sent you a little link afterwards. We went back and forth about our last episode about the
Give them a quick refresher.
The quick concept. My mentality and my logic about it being, this is more or less to go into if you're going to have situations like this where you're going to have random ass people coming in here and committing violent crimes, arm the people with either the knowledge or the ability to defend themselves. There's even shorts now that you can see on YouTube where someone was making a joke about it. I'm sure it got pulled, but it was like the equivalent of saying the media and most people try to make it seem like, you know, active shooters are stupid.
Yes.
Like if you walk in a room, it says being an active shooter and then them thinking you're stupid. And it shows this guy walking in with like a Nerf gun and he looks around, and because people are hiding under a table, he looks and thinks that there's nobody's in the room. And he's like, oh, darn it. And goes somewhere else, goes to open a door, door's locked. He's like, oh, darn it. And then walks away.
Yeah, that's not
it's
how
like you
it
have
works.
to be, you have to think more tactical, more realistic to say it's like, you don't need everybody armed, but we spoke about this before.
Yes.
Arming teachers, and I think where was this that I showed you? I think it was in Mexico.
It might.
It was a school in Mexico or somewhere like that where they were showing.
A few schools,
they had them interviewing these teachers, and they were showing, asking teachers, "Oh, what kind of firearm do we have in you?" And he goes, "Oh, I've got." And this teacher put the whole specs out of everything. He knew exactly what it is. He goes, this is my firearm. This is what it does. This doesn't have a safety. This is the type of caliber of bullet it is. This is my grip. This is my firearm. Puts it away. Asks the next teacher. Each teacher was trained.
Yeah.
And they showed it was in a lockbox in an area that they could gain access to during an incident, and they knew exactly what to do. They knew exactly how to black out a room, how to put all the students in a spot to make sure that their firearm was focused on that door if someone came through. That was an active threat.
It's crazy that. I guess my mind, I couldn't fathom the concept, but like Lynn said, after we had recorded that episode, and I actually think either that one's up or will be coming up shortly, after we posted it, he sent me a link, and it was exactly what he said. Teachers got guns and stuff like that. And so in my mind, yes, in a perfect world, we shouldn't have to arm our teachers, but we don't live in a perfect world. We have to be realistic when it comes to the fact that sometimes you have to fight fire with fire. Mm-hmm. As much as I would love to say, you know, we got to psychological evaluation these people and understand how they think, this and that. The fact of the matter is, when the shit's happening, we don't have time to think about, oh, what was his day like today?
You need a reactionary
how was he
time.
feeling? You need somebody to put this person down.
There's two different variables to it. You either arm a teacher to be able to have the capability of being able to do it, or have someone in there that's physically trained in order to run that.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, you've got your, what was that movie? Taken, Liam Neeson. You got your Liam Neeson patrolling the school.
Special steps.
Yeah, like someone that is qualified to be there to deter situations. So that way, when a student does decide to come in, they know that they have no chance to take down this person that's way more qualified than they are to put them out.
Right.
And even if they come in suicidal, that person has the ability to stop them before they go and to start taking other lives.
And that's really what it's going to come down to. Preventative action, being proactive about it.
Proactive rather than reactive.
It makes sense. Give the teachers a GAT. Make sure they know how to use it and they're trained. Do it kind of like what you do with the police. Kind of like your job, how you have to go for qualifiers or qualification shooting just to make sure your skills are up to snuff.
Yeah.
You know, to carry that gun, or you do a concealed carry, you got to whatever, get your permit and all that stuff. So as much as I would hate to agree in this particular situation, because I have a kid in school, and I know that if I heard of an active shooter at my kid's school, I would want to know somebody there was armed.
That's what makes
you know what I mean?
And that's one thing I want to kind of vine into, not just strictly active shooters, since it's a topic that's always going to fluctuate.
It'll always.
But just guns, lives, and social awareness, being aware of situations preemptively. I'll be with family and friends, and a lot of times I'll come off as being pessimistic because, and it's a crutch or a cripple on my behalf. I do like to challenge myself to doing new things, but I also am very aware of certain scenarios based off of past experiences.
Well, we have to take everything in consideration.
Everything runs into consideration. I don't go into that mentality
where
of like
it's only the bright side.
Yes, of a day by day. And someone's like, "Why are you being so negative?" I'm like, "I'm not. I'm telling you, this is how it's going to happen because I've seen it happen." But then they'll want to be like, "Well, let me just experience it. Let me see." And then when it happens and it's really bad, the biggest pet peeve of mine is when you start saying, "Oh, wow, I didn't know this was going to happen."
Right.
Or, "Oh, why did this happen to me?" I'm like, "I fucking told you."
Yes.
But why is it that you need to go through the motion rather than just take into consideration that I'm not talking about
you're right. No, you're right. But I mean,
actually had it happen.
That goes back to the psychological aspect of it. That's like us growing up. Our parents tried to tell us, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this.
You know what? And I thought
I
thought about the same aspect of as you're a kid, as your child. My thing is, and please don't hate me for saying this. You can't go off of this mentality of, well, this is how I was raised, so this is why things are the way that they are.
True.
If you're not able to adapt, because society right now in 2022, if I was raised to be a good person and always hold open a door for somebody, always, I don't know.
You mean to be a real man?
Yeah, do that. Like, always give a homeless person money. Always think that everybody's gonna have a good heart. I'd be walked all over. Yeah. I would be trampled on because in 2022. I'm sorry, but life doesn't care how you were raised.
Yes.
If you're not able to adapt, the equivalent of someone just like my mother, for instance, more or less, like her technological aspect on things, like she would still use a flip phone if that was a thing.
Right.
But in 2022, you can't. It doesn't function that way. You need to update yourself. If you don't update your mentality to being aware of everything around you, you're stuck in this time frame.
Yeah.
And it stops you from...
It's that mentality that kind of just... It doesn't allow you to... progress past that timeline. The
progression and progressive overload on your mental state in order to be a better person comes with being put in uncomfortable situations.
Well, that's kind of like us. We were raised old-fashioned to some extent, and we've had to adapt, tweak our mindset.
The adaptability. I'm still a good person in my core, but I've adapted my mindset to, I know how I have to act and how I have to proceed around certain people, because everybody to me right now is a threat unless they've made it into my circle. Someone come up to me like, oh, I want to be your friend. I'm like, I don't fucking know you.
Oh, no.
I don't know you. We're not friends. Now, the younger me, yes. Right. Because my mindset was raised to treat everybody's nice. They're all nice and kind, but over time being hurt
those
and going into...
Those rose-colored glasses started to crack.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's when you start to see, it's like, all right, well, I need to test the waters before I decide to let you jump in with me.
Yes.
And that just becomes, I feel like that should be a worldwide thing. Your social awareness should be something that everybody should have. You should be able to kind of...
It's a balancing act, because it's almost like to balance out our realistic way of thinking, because that's what we're realists. We're not necessarily pessimists. It's just reality. But it's almost like you need just that little voice of optimism. Yeah. Like those people who are still optimistic for a better tomorrow. While we're sitting here I know this is going to happen.
And I have some people around me that are very, very optimistic. And this is one thing that I do try to work on, is because in my head, I feel like I am right most of the time because I need to be proven wrong. I'd rather you prove me wrong so I can shut the fuck up and stop being so right.
Right.
And it's like it comes off as me being a narcissist. But having certain people around me that are optimistic. Yeah, it just happens at the point. I'm like, I'm not trying to be narcissistic. I'm stating facts and showing you these things. Prove me wrong so I can shut the fuck up. Because I get on my nerves at that point. I get annoyed with myself because I know what I'm saying is just too blunt.
Sitting there, you're like, fuck again.
So when someone's coming up with really positive energy and they're saying something, and in my head I'm like, you know what? That sounds good. So rather than me thinking of everything that's going wrong with it, let me trust you on this.
Let me let it happen. Just in case. But then a fucking meteorite hits the earth and we all die, and it was because I decided to and go, damn it,
I decided to give you a chance, and now the world is ended, and I could have stopped it. And then you got that Batman, something's in the way, as I'm looking up in the stars.
You know what I mean? So it's at the end of the day, no matter what, guns are going to be necessary in some situations, and guns won't be necessary in others.
It's a tool. It's a tool that needs to be
on a situation basis. We just need to get better with it. We need to have better things in place for people to either get out this gun aggression that they want, because some people just want to shoot targets. Some people just need stuff to do. But you know what? We'll figure it out. We're a society ever growing and changing. I'm sure we'll come around. So, boom. Hey, Lynn.
Don't do it.
Be careful.
Don't do it.
Don't drop the soap.
Stop.
Don't drop the soap.
When was the last time that you were in a men's locker room?
Last time I went to the gym, so that would be about a year or two ago.
Really?
Yeah, it's been a while.
So, I had.
Yep.
This was a minute ago. It was probably like maybe a month and some change ago. Everybody knows, and most guys know, there's that forbidden thing where you're walking through the locker room and you got a bunch of naked dudes walking around, and it's just like you learn the anatomy of, all right, getting out of that uncomfortable situation of being around someone that's naked that isn't you. Yeah, so you just don't make eye contact. You know someone's walking around, you're like, whoop, I'm not going to make eye contact. I'm just going to start walking my way. But then you get the old guys that just are comfortable having conversations.
Yeah, no talk.
Fully naked. So I'm getting out of the sauna, I think is what it was, and I go sit with my back facing. And mind you, I never have my back facing.
Right.
But that's just, I had to go into the locker room. And there's two guys standing behind me, and I can hear the conversation. I'm sitting down, I'm trying to dry off, and I'm like, okay, I want to change, but I'm not going to just get naked in front of these two guys.
Right.
So I go to turn, and I see them talking, and I don't know, we're going to say one guy's name's Bob, and the other one's name is Wade.
Okay.
So Bob's talking to Wade, and they're having a conversation, and Wade's like, yeah, man, I really, really want to go check out this place on Front, and he pauses, and Bob's like, yeah, no, man, keep telling me about it. And as you look at Bob's slowly pulling his pants down, and Wade's looking at him like, what are you doing, man? And he goes, I'm just changing. Let's just keep talking. He goes, so Wade stops him, and he's like, I can't keep talking while you're taking your pants off, bro. And I hear it, and I'm closing my eyes like, I don't want to have to turn. I hear this man's bare ass slap on the table, and he's sitting there, and he goes, disgusting. He's trying to talk. Bob's trying to talk Wade through the transition of him taking his clothes off, telling him it's not gay as long as you don't break eye contact. And Wade's like, I don't know where to look. He goes, just look at me, keep looking at me, and we're done. And slowly puts his pants back on. He goes, see, now wasn't that hard? He goes, so where's the place that you wanted to check out, Wade? And Wade's like, I don't know anymore. And he just walked out. It was like, it almost felt like a sitcom. The entire time I have my back to them while they're doing this, and I'm just like, I don't know if it was staged. I don't know if it was
happened though, dude. If you go to any type of, especially you go to the gym, you go to the men's locker room. Me and Lynn have both seen it. We've walked in on it happening, walked in separately. It's just, like he said, you see the buff guys who are like, I'm too sexy for this shower, too sexy for, and they'll just walk around with their junk all dangling in the wind. And then you have the super old dudes who almost had a body, but you're just too old to get there, and they're just walking around with all
they're
all
having
their
a full ass conversation.
So it's like you walk in, and it's kind of funny because it's like a TV show every time you walk in there. Random ass conversation,
sitcom.
There's a bunch of naked dudes walking around talking to each other. There's always that one cat who's in the mirror posing to himself.
Yeah, like, they'll do the bodybuilding ones. I don't mind those. I don't mind when it's just like shirt off and stuff like that.
But when you're naked,
it's there'll be guys like, you're going to go dry your hands and wash your hands, and there'll be a guy completely naked standing at the sink, shaving their face, like they're at home.
Why are you doing that?
Like they're at home.
That's disgusting.
And they'll try to have a conversation like, "Oh, how was your workout?" And I'm like, I don't want to talk to you.
They'll come straight out of the sauna, go over to the urinal and take a piss. I'm like, bro, I don't want your heat.
You're not.
I don't want your wee heat.
You're not. You're
coming over into my stall.
It's kind of like Attack on Titan where all the steam is just coming off of their body.
I don't want you touching me. No. Even if you're that's weird. There's a certain etiquette.
Well, no, sorry. I'm sorry. One of my headset. I remember. One of my buddies that I used to train with, Steven, he always told me, he goes, you never put anything bare on. You never put anything bare like that you're gonna eat or touch on marble, because they sit there, right?
Yes.
And I, back then when I was young, I was like, I don't understand why. And he goes, just watch. And sure enough, at the same time, it was perfectly planned. This guy had his headset. He put down one of the earbuds on one side, had the other one off on the side in a case.
Oh no!
Took his pants off, and he sat bare ass on there because some people do.
Of course.
He sat down, picked his body back up, and his headset was gone. And you could see in our peripheral him looking around, trying to figure out where the headset was. It literally got stuck in between his cheeks, and he couldn't figure out. So he started.
The Joker. He's like, you want to see a trick?
He started looking around trying to find it, bent over, and it just popped out because his cheeks spread and then hit the ground. He didn't even clean up. He rubbed it on his shirt and then on his pants and put it back in the case.
Look,
I'm like,
this conversation was supposed to go a different direction.
I'm sorry.
But since we're here,
I was thinking
men
about
are
these
disgusting.
Yeah, they are.
I have to be honest.
We're creatures.
We are nasty.
We're creatures in our own.
We're nasty as hell. Because like Lynn's seen it too. Obviously, you just mentioned it. I refuse to put my bare ass on anything in the gym. Anything. I didn't even want to go into the sauna bare assed. I'll still wear shorts. That's just. I don't want to get your booty juice in my booty juice. That's nasty.
I don't even know.
I don't want your ball sweat just chilling there while I got to sit down and I'm listening to System of a Down. And
that just sounds like an angry session.
It's so weird, but it's more one of those things because as a dude, we have like established kind of barriers for dudes. It's like, hey, bro, you make eye contact, might give a heads up, might give a handshake.
You might give a heads up.
You might give
like, hey, man,
that
nice.
nod.
What is it?
Nice
Markiplier.
Nice call. Nice call. You're walking, you shake his wiener, and you're just like, hey,
my God,
you're hanging pretty good today. That's not what we do.
Too much.
That's not what we do. But it's just funny when you see other people kind of breaking etiquette. And then everybody around starts acting
the
funny.
Difference between just people that are comfortable based off of their age and then people that are like the youngers versus olders. It's mostly all older cats.
So have you dropped the soap?
No.
Before?
No.
At the gym?
No.
Have you ever? Are you sure?
I rinse off and then I'm out. I don't even use soap because I come home and I shower like a normal fucking person.
That's me.
It's people who feel like they can do things out in public like they're in the comfort of their own home.
I'd rather stink in my car.
Even when there's people like at work, like if I'm doing defensive tactics, and you
Right.
get some of the students, like they've already graduated or they've already passed their test, and they're
Yeah.
just milking the clock at the end, and they're like laying on the floor.
Right.
And I'm like, hey,
Ew.
I'll kick them in their leg. Like, hey, you're not at home.
Disgusting.
Sit
right.
the fuck up.
That's disgusting.
Sit the fuck up. Please sit in a chair. You're not.
People's shoes have been on that
Yes.
floor.
It's dirty.
No, dude. No. So, you know, stay clean.
Stay
That's
clean.
good etiquette.
I'm good.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm D.
This is Lynn.
If you haven't already, we're Project Airwaves. Please feel free to check us out on any and all platforms. We just started a TikTok. Over there and check out our videos.
My money
We're
don't
on
jiggle,
Facebook.
jiggle.
We're on
It
YouTube.
folds.
We're on
I like to see
Patreon.
you
We're on
wiggle,
Spotify.
wiggle. For
We're on
sure.
all these other stuffs. Go look for us. You can't help but to miss us. We're Project Airwaves. Keep your head in the clouds.
Keep your feet on the ground, always moving
We
forward.
love you guys. You did so good.
Bye.
We'll see you next episode.
Have a beautiful time.